So we're back with the Civic. As you saw from the last video, the tank strap snapped. So I've jacked the car up, it's on axle stands, front wheels chocked, the battery positive terminal's off. Then if you come in the car, taking the rear bench out, and I'm just going to disconnect the fuel pump wiring. So you just do that, take these 3 screws out, chuck these nice cubby hole there, and then reveals the actual wiring. And what you can do is you can just simply pop this rubber thing, grommet out the center, and then just make sure it's nice and free, so when the fuel tank comes down it doesn't try and snag all the wiring up. So you just leave it like that. Before you drop the tank down, you just need to undo these 2 hoses. This is for the fuel coming into the tank, and this is the little breather tube as well. So once you've undone the jubilees, you can just back that off and back the other one off, and don't use the jubilees. The remnants of the tank strap, you can see here, luckily I've still got that bent bolt. Just comes out of there like that. I'll need that again. And then this one is just got a 13mm here and a 12mm below it, and then I'll take this tank strap. So that's off there now, and then we can just drop the tank down. It's on a hook at the front, which you need to deal with. You just pick it up and then the whole tank will come down, but it's obviously still got some of the fuel lines connected. Now we can take down these the AN fitting here, and then also the little fuel fitting I've got there as well. So now I'm just trying to look at lengths of pipes I've got, especially for this feed remains the same, but the return is a bit different. And I've just pulled some extra length from inside the car. I think if I put it back up in place, fuel tank's always going to be in the same place, I think I will have enough length just about to do the job. So next job is to just take this whole old hanger down. So I'm just going to take it off this like line and all of these little bolts around the hanger, and then take the hanger off there. But I suppose I may as well just take the whole tank off that bracket, because I actually want to make some other changes as well, so I might just take the whole thing out. This is the fuel tank. One of the first jobs I need to do, it's actually a little mistake I made last time, was there's a one-way valve thing in here in the fuel filler neck to stop people siphoning your fuel. I think I either put it the wrong way around or whatever, but it means if I'm having to dribble the fuel in, I'm just going to take it out. So if anyone wants to come and rob my fuel, give it a go, but I'm not going to have a siphon device in there, so you can really just, you know, help yourself. Here we go, this is how I had it. It's got to be right, hasn't it, to be like that? Anyway, this little trapdoor thing, maybe I think it should have been a little bit more like that. A little bit more up. I don't know, it's coming out. I'll just rag it out. There it is, it's out now. So just go put this back on where it was. So that's back in place, and make sure you have the up. And then I'm going to replace this bit of pipe as well, because when I took it off it got a bit damaged, so I'll just get some pipe that's the same as this, cut it to the same length and place it on there. Right, new pipe is on there. That one-way thing, plastic thing's out. Now I just need to take off this hanger. Underneath here's a 10mm, and then just it's 6 10mm around here. We'll take the hanger out. So this is all loose here. This wiring will be loose. I'll just undo that one there. The fuel sender. And you can just take this whole thing out. There we go. Place that somewhere, and then I'm just going to cover the fuel tank up with a bit of cardboard and a little bit of weight on top of it, so we won't get crap in the tank. So I'm going to start the build up of the new, you've seen this in the previous episode, the new hanger, which has the AN6 return. I just need to take this nice, you can see this is the one I did have on just temporarily, AN6, I think it's M12 adapter, I'll put the exact size on, and then just take that off, and I've got for that a 11/16 socket which is quite close to, I think, 18mm, but this will stop it rounding. I think this is the exact size you need. And then I'll just take that off there and place it on there first. So I'll just shock the old one off, and here's the new one going on there with the new copper washer, and just tighten that back on. The wiring is the same for both, other than the connectors are different. So I think the easiest way of doing it is just to use the whole wiring loom that I've got here, and then just take out the this red power line for the fuel pump itself. Just deloom that right the way out, and then just deloom this one right the way out, and then just make the swap over. That's going to be the easiest way of doing it. First of all, I'm just going to back off the zip tie clip. I've taken this out here, and then I've got the largest Phillips head I've got to undo that bolt, and then I'm going to basically just de-pin this whole bit down here. So the voltage feed for the fuel pump is this red cable here, so I'm just trying to find out which one of these is that. So I'm just using continuity on my multimeter. Do you see that? So that's the one. So what I need to do is de-pin this last plug here, and then pull that wire right out, and I'll be able to do the same for the other one, just repin it. So I've just de-pinned the yellow with the black stripe wire, which is for the power to the fuel pump, and it's quite fiddly to show you how to do that, but you just flick up this catch here, and then you pull back the little lever that's inside there at the top, and then you just pull the wire back. So you get the hang of it after you've done a few. And then now what I want to do is just pull this wire the whole way out of this loom, so it just remains connected to the pump. And then I need to do the same on the other side, and then play a swapsy game. So the easiest thing's been just to de-pin the earth wire as well. So I've just got that, and now I can just do the same on the other side, and I don't have to worry about trying to take all the wires through this quite thin little bit of sheathing there. So I'm just using exactly the same logic as before. I've got a black wire which goes to the ground, and then I've got the yellow and black stripe wire, which is actually the power signal for the fuel pump itself. So I just need to take both of them out. I've actually wheeled out my Nielsen terminal toolkit, and I've got this little one here, just a little rod basically, and that's CE74, seems to be the right one. Actually, if you look at the whole kit, it seems to say CE74 is for Fiat, Ford, Mazda. Anyway, it seems to be working, so I'll just de-pin there, and I can just repin with the two wires I've got over there, and then we're going to be pretty much done in terms of the wiring. Now I've separated this part of the wiring looms. This is just for the fuel sender, which I've got on the tank. All I've got to do is repin these two for the fuel pump, and place them back into this connector. Right, managed to get those two pins up where they need to be now, so I can just repin them. Because the seal to the metal cover for the fuel tank was broken, I put the one from the other loom on, and just to let you know the orientation of these, it should be yellow with a black stripe, black with the two silver dots, then a black with one silver dot, and yellow and white stripe in that corner. So that's how it goes. Anyway, that's all in there. I can just put some tape around that. The electrical part of this is pretty much done. I just need to take the fuel pump and place it over now. Now I just want to take off the Bro 255, and I've already popped it out with the bottom here, just like that. And that gives me the modified stopper, which I actually had another one of. Could reuse that or this one I did. And then just take out these two Jubilee clips, or just one actually, the one at the top, and just pop the whole filter off. Also, I'm going to be taking this sock off, because I found I've actually got a better sock. I'll put them side by side and show you. These are the two bags, one that was on there and this long one. Definitely going to use the big one, so I think it's going to go further down to the bottom of the tank and stop that whole, I should say, fuel starvation when you get to I don't know, quarter of a tank or something. So it's really simple. You've got this little little washer there. You can just prise that off with a little flathead. Be very careful, don't snap the a little nipple there, the plastic nipple, and you'll just work that off and then put the other filter sock on in place. There we have it. We managed to prise that little washer thing off, and then this can just get taken off there. Weirdly, I've noticed this little ring isn't in there, so I'm going to try and get this little ring off that and put it on there, and I hope it fits. The ring's up in place. I just need to put that little washer thing back on. The ring's there, all up in place with that little washer. Then we just need to place this in the assembly, which is really easily done. I've already got my Walbro connector, so I can just put that on there. And I can just use this one or the other one I did. I'll probably use the other one I did because I spent loads of time on it. And then I'll just place that in there, and it will all be pretty much together then. Just partway assembled now, so I've got the clip in there for the Walbro. These connectors just here, which is fine. Yeah, it doesn't really matter as long as they stay where they are. Here we have the little bit of fuel hose just over the fuel feed line there. Haven't done up the Jubilee yet, and I'll just make sure this seats nicely into this little rubber stopper there. Well, I think that's pretty neat. I've just rerouted the wires a little bit, as in just placed that thing in between this little holder there. Tightened up the Jubilees. This is it. Obviously all the wiring's cleaned up now. Just need to place that. I didn't need to take that off in the end. Place that back onto the side there, the ground. I just want to clean up both sides of that before I did it. The final thing I'm going to do is just do a little bit of cleaning up of this, a little bit of wire. I've just got some normal electrical tape. I'm just going to clean that up a bit so it looks a bit nicer. This is the whole thing. See, the wiring's looking neat. Got my two AN6 on top. Got that new seal to the tank there. All the connections are all nice and neat, so I can simply just pop that up in there. Before I do that, I'm just going to spray it down a bit to clean it with a bit of brake clean, just to make sure there's no crap on it anywhere. Now I'm just going to feed the sock in. There's a little kind of basket it sits in. It's hard to see. It's like this. There you go. I think it's like that. Let me figure this out. It's like that. The basket can only actually fit in there, so that's how it goes. Now I'll just get the 10mm nuts and just to do that all up tight. Now I'm just going to zip tie this cable in place. There, around there. Obviously put this 2-pin connector in the fuel level sensor. That's what I'm going to leave it for today because it's raining quite badly. So we have the dual AN6 feed and return. Everything's all nicely placed back together. Got my 2 MB6 straps ready to go, and yeah, we'll have this on quite easily now.